Okay, in today's video, I'm going to make an upside down pineapple cake. And this recipe is from a cake from the scratch and is real easy. Okay, so I'm going to start to preheat my oven at 350. And this is the ingredients for the caramel. I'm going to use a baking pan, and this is a 10 by 2 square baking pan. I'm going to use 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 stick of unsalted butter, or you can use half cup if you're going to measure it by cup. And I'm going to put the stick of butter in this bowl, and I'm going to put it in the microwave for 1 minute. We're going to melt the butter. Okay, my butter is melted and it's hot, so I'm going to pour my butter in my baking pan. And I'm going to add the 1 cup of the brown sugar. I'm going to mix it up, and you have to make sure you mix everything. And this sugar is going to caramelize with the when you're baking the cake. When you're baking the cake, this sugar is going to caramelize with the butter inside the oven. So we're going to make sure everything is well combined. Make sure we cover all the pan. In here I have 1 can of pineapple slices, and in heavy syrup we're going to save the juice. So we're going to put the pineapples. I'm going to use 9 slices. And I have 1 left in there for me for later. I also gonna add maraschino cherries, and I'm gonna put the maraschino cherries in each hold, okay? And these maraschino cherries come with this with a stick, so I'm gonna remove that. And this is optional, but I'm going to put some cherries in between. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I think it looks pretty. And now I'm going to put the pan by the side, and I'm going to do my cake batter because it's from scratch. It's not from the box. If you want to use the box cake, you're going to follow the directions, but I recommend you to do this cake because you're going to love it. In here I have a bowl, and this is very easy. And I'm going to put all the ingredients in the description box. I have 1 stick of melted butter, and I'm using unsalted butter. I have 1 cup of granulated sugar, and I'm going to mix it up with in there. I'm going to use I'm going to add pure vanilla, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla. And I'm going to use a electric mixer. I have 3 large eggs, and I'm going to mix this. And after I mix this real well, and then I'm going to be adding the eggs one by one. Mix everything. Now I'm going to add the liquid from my pineapples, for my pineapple can. This is 3/4 cup of juice, and I'm going to continue mixing this. Now I'm going to add the dry ingredients. So I'm going to sieve 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour. That's plain flour. That's 1.5 cup of the all-purpose flour. We also going to add baking powder, and I'm going to be adding 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And because I'm using butter with unsalted butter, I'm gonna add half teaspoon of salt. If you're using salted butter, then you're gonna omit the salt. Okay. So we're gonna sift that. And I'm going to use a spoon. If you have a spatula, it's even better. Make sure you mix everything before you using your electric mixer, because if not, the flour is gonna splash. So make sure you combine all the dry ingredient with the wet ingredients. Okay. And now I'm gonna use my hand mixer. Oh yeah, my hand mixer, to make sure everything is well combined. And don't over mix. Okay. Now I'm gonna pour my cake mix into my baking pan, and I'm gonna bake this from 30 to 45 minutes at 350. Okay. So after 30 minutes, you're gonna check. So I'm gonna put this in the oven, and my cake is ready. So already past 45 minutes exactly, and I'm gonna check with a toothpick, put it in the center, come out clean, and it's ready to serve. I'm gonna turn this immediately because this is an upside down pineapple cake. I'm using a flat baking pan, so don't wait, because it's not your cake's gonna stick into the pan. So you want to turn that fast. Okay. And you have to be careful, don't burn, because of course you know the pan is still hot. So we're gonna turn that, and after we turn the cake, we're gonna let them set for 2 to 3 hours until the cake is cooked before you cut it. Okay. So I'm gonna leave it at room temperature for 2-3 hours. I'm gonna use the knife. So here is my cake. Smells so good, and I'm ready to cut a piece and taste it. Ay, 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 ay. There you go. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Delicious cake. So this is the final result for my cake. Now we're gonna taste it. This is the best part. Good. See you. That's all.